There you go.
Or do we do this? That's quiet too, right? Awesome. I learned that on Sunday.
Or we just go, hey, oh, can you email?
I'm going to continue to stand because I want to call this,
There it's up.
town commission meeting for, October 24th. Stand for the pledge and we pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible. Yes, that. Stop the radio from at this level to say, thank you for letting us assemble ourselves together in this building. For each and every one of the sound of my voice, a special blessing I ask you upon the young children, Lord, young boys, God, and their leaders, Lord, continue to come with your precious word. Lord, we thank you this evening, Lord, you, government, federal government, all the state government, we thank you for all those in high places when it comes to leadership. Even this and get it with you, love. That love that works hard and hard. And we thank you for this commission tonight, Lord. Two things tonight, decent and in order. This we pray in the precious name of Jesus. Amen. Amen.
My golly, thank you.
I think this room's been this full for a commission meeting in a long time, so we're really happy to have everybody here. Roll call.
Commissioner McMullen. Commissioner Cullen.
Here.
Commissioner Ramos.
Present.
Vice Mayor Satterfield.
Present.
Mayor Stewart.
Here,
We're all here.
all right. So the first thing we have on the agenda is the week of the family, why families, which is something that we do annually, and we're very proud to do it, and we have a representative here. So after this, we'll get a nice picture, so we probably could line them all up, right? Yeah. Okay. Town of Oakland, Week of the Family, why families? Whereas the town of Oakland is blessed with a multitude of families, an essential part of the culture, social, and spiritual fabric of our community. And whereas the town of Oakland commissioners recognize that strong families are at the center of strong communities, that children live better lives when their families are strong, and that the families are strong when they live in communities that connect them to economic opportunities, social networks, and services. And whereas everyone has a role to play in making families successful, including neighborhood organizations, businesses, nonprofit work agencies, policymakers, and of course, families themselves. Whereas the week of November 4th through 11th, the town residents should take time to honor the importance of family and recommit to enhancing and extending special connections that support and strengthen them throughout the year. Whereas the town of Oakland will join other Orange County municipalities, agencies, and organizations to honor and celebrate the family units, the bedrock of our community. Come on up, we need a picture in the picture corner, guys.
And can I just say, oh, I'm sorry. No, I just want to say all year long, every week is like a week of the family for you because you have so many family friendly events and your new cultural center just adds to it. And I have all these memories of the Easter egg drop and all the fun events you do outside this building. And so thank you very much. We appreciate you, and your proclamation itself really answers the question, why families, as you talk about how it's so important to our culture and our society. So thanks again to everyone in Oakland, and what a joy to be here with all the scouts too, and great, yeah, how they're going to help build strong families in the future.
And we have a great staff. None of this happens without them.
Well, you're such a good mayor for acknowledging.
Let's have a picture.
Yes, let's. I'm vain. So I'm passes. Picture corner.
Who's got a picture?
Okay. Is someone else's
Little kids up.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you. You'll display it. You'll display it for events. We always, you have a little post on our website. That's all. Thank you so much. Good to see you again.
We'll see you next time.
Okay, we have one more proclamation. It is Town of Oakland Veterans Day. Whereas for more than 200 years, individuals from all walks of life have taken up arms and sworn an oath to support and defend the principles upon which our country was founded. Whereas Veterans Day honors our great American patriots who answered the call of duty, often serving in harm's way to preserve our freedoms. Whereas we are inspired by the valor and dedication to those in uniform who continue to defend the principles upon which our nation was founded. And whereas it is fitting that the Oakland residents honor America's roughly 19.1 veterans, including the nearly 1.5 million from the Sunshine State, who have fought for our nation's freedoms and built an honorable tradition of faithful and dedicated service. I don't believe we have anybody here for this one, but you know, as always, we owe a big thanks to the veterans and upcoming veterans.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. We are at, oh, we got another, come on in. We have a chair for him.
And that's where we're.
You can sit here. There's a chair up here, chair, and there's a chair right here. You don't want to-
Pick one of the $5 piece up front here.
All right, we're at public forum. Public forum is always on the agenda for you folks that are here trying to learn about how a public town meeting works. And this is an opportunity to let anyone who wants to speak about something that's not already itemized on the agenda to speak. We ask that they keep their comments to 3 minutes and that they sign in so that we have it as a record on the agenda. Do we have any takers for that? Are you here for post office boxes or something different? Okay, we're going to talk about post office boxes. I don't know that we have that on the agenda either, but that's a good point. Donna, do you have an update that you want to give, or do you just want people to speak?
Speaking of.
I think, well, you may answer some questions that people have so that we can, you know, Donna is a resident who has taken it upon herself, and I believe her sister has helped her.
Few other people I know.
Nancy's here.
And my neighborhood is
Mhm.
now writing emails, so. All right, so, it's been very, very interesting journey and it's. I almost feel like, and I have, because we put some stuff on We Are Oakland, just to try to make people in Oakland aware, nothing mean or anything like that. But, so I guess it was decided by what I'm being told, the person over here, Bert Ip, he's the officer in charge or the postmaster of this post office. And he has been informed by his higher ups, whoever that may be, because he will not tell me and he won't give me email addresses for those people. So he's been told that we can now get they're called Group E mailboxes, are the free mailboxes for people who do not have carrier service. So what they're telling people, it's almost like almost feel like you're being bullied when you go in there. They're just bullying people so bad, it's ridiculous. So we're not the only ones having to deal with this. This is happening throughout the country at different places. So we are by far not the only ones. There's several thousands of people who are dealing with this. So anyway, with that, he says that, if we go, they're telling you, if you go with a Group E box, then you're going to lose your premium service. Your premium service is a service that allows you to address something like 100 Vandermeer box, whatever. And if it gets, because if somebody doesn't, you know how some people won't take a PO box? So you can put your address and then your box. So if they get it over here, they'll send it back to whoever it came from. Amazon, not Amazon so much, they do it a little bit, not a lot, but UPX and FedEx have they each call it something different, but it's like a last mile service where they drop it off at the post office and then you pick it up here. Once they sort it into your box, is that you won't have that. So you won't have the availability of having that service. So when I went in there and talked to, Bert was already gone. I spoke to the lady that was in there who was just not even nice. They don't even try to be nice. But anyway, I asked her because that's what she told me. And I said, well, just so you know, your domestic mail manual, section 508, and I said, it's 4.1.1 says post office boxes service is a premium service offered for a fee to any customer and for no fee to customers who are not eligible for carrier delivery. And I said, so it specifically states in your own manual that premium service will be provided to you if you do not have carrier service. And she said, well, it's not going to be. And I said, well, and then she said, because your town, she goes, we have proof that your town has asked us not to do carrier service and they do not want carrier service. So there's that. And so it's been interesting. And he says, and I said, so I sent an email last night and he basically said that we're the people that have come in, because I asked, how many boxes do you have? And she kept saying, we have enough. And I said, well, what is enough? She goes, we have enough for anybody who wants them. And I said, okay. I said, so what you're saying is you want me to go out there and count them? Because we'll just go count them. Well, we did count them. There's 506. There's 506 small size boxes. So there's not even enough for everybody in the town. That let's just say everybody wants one. So when I got home last night, I was just like, and I mean, you've seen my emails because I copy Elise on my emails. So I know she passes them on to you. So, you know, none of my emails have been, rude, or it's mostly just matter of fact. So when I sent the email last night, I sent it to Bert Ip, I sent it to John McGee, Dwayne Donaldson, Elise. I sent it to the Postmaster General of the United States and the Board of Governors of the Post Office of the United States. And so when he responded back to me this morning, he had removed the Board of Governors email address and the Postmaster General of the United States, probably because he knew I was going to send an email back, but I caught it and recognized it. So I put their email addresses back on there and then added Amy Quisenberry from the Orange Observer. And then I also added Mike Holfeld from Channel 6 to that, along with the Postmaster of the United States and the Board of Governors, even though I know the Board of Governors doesn't really handle that. But they'll pass it on to the United States Consumer Affairs. That it was just a matter of, he made me mad when he did that. But anyway, so I have asked him, several things. I want to know how we got zip codes, how zip codes are assigned. I asked him, I said, I'm going to ask you all the things in this email that I want to know. So when I come in, you're already ready. I want you to be ready for what I'm asking you. And so I asked for that. And I told him, I just quoted from their own domestic mail manual and the sections and subsections. Why do I have to have a size 1 box? Because it says in there that I get the size box that handles my mail and not you have to have size 1. Nowhere in there does it say you have to have the smallest size. It doesn't say that. So I asked him that, and I told him that I would be asking for a copy of the whatever they have that says the town requested no carrier delivery. I said, I want to know what your policy is for public records request, because I'm going to be asking for that. And so we've also found out that they're only putting the letter that tells you you can get it for free. They're only putting that in the mailboxes of people that are asking for it. And he's told me that they're doing it in groups, but I know that's not true.
That's not what he told me.
It's not. That's what he put back in my email. So I know that's not true. So they're only doing it to people that go up there and ask for a free box. So that, is not right for them to be doing it that way. So, I mean, it's just really, it's just bizarre to me. This post office at one time was little. It didn't have, enough money or whatever. And I know that the post office people are paid for by the government, but they say, well, we are going to have to close down. And I think because we know how much you all charge them every month. So you figure that, and you figure the electric and phone. So we took that and figured out they only have to make $30 to $40 a day in order to meet their expenses. And they're not really in there to make a profit. So it's not like, I know I sit there and watch the post office, so I know they do that much business. So in any case, we're still working on it. I don't know if you all read We Are Oakland that much or watch the comments, but I do want to let you know that there are people in this town who have not had mail delivery for 3 or 4 years because they cannot afford a mailbox. And to me, that's so they have reached out, through here and asking us what to do. So anybody that does that on here, my sister Deanna and myself, we've sent them, we don't do it on here, but we've sent them private messages that if they go up there and they need help, then to reach out to us, and we'll go up to the post office with them and help them fill out their forms or help them get a box, because quite frankly, they don't care about right now whether it's a premium service or not. They just need a way to get mail. So. Yes.
Something that you were saying.
I can't, yes, she's over here and I don't know her name because I haven't seen her. She's a kind of small factor with long hair. I want to say it's
I think that's.
right here, right over here. Yes, no.
Not in here, it's not in here.
Yeah.
It's not in
At the
here.
post office, and I don't know her name, but she was kind of like Bert was. There's, I don't know her name, but they are not nice. They, yeah, kind of.
I think her name is
Really nice.
Heidi.
When I came in and she was like ready and loaded, and I'm just like, really?
Yeah, and then,
So anyway, that's kind of where we're at.
Boy Scouts,
Yes,
I got it. When he talked about the group email box, that people were new, did they ever say that they would lose their current PO box number and have to get a different number?
yes, because what they're saying is that if you move to a group E, that has to be the smallest size box. And that it has to be the smallest size box, and you will lose your premium service.
But what happens if you already have the smallest size box,
Then you'll lose your premium service.
but you can keep the box?
You can keep the box, but you'll lose your premium service.
Discovered they what's supposed to happen.
Yes,
So they are just, when you go and ask for it, they're just bullying you
right,
until you just give up.
right.
And they're hoping that we'll all give up. No,
Right.
not gonna give up.
Yeah, we won't.
we won't give them.
And so, because that domestic, what I would say is, if you haven't Googled United States Post Office domestic, it's called the Domestic Mail Manual. And if you haven't Googled that, Google that and just read it. It's only 1.5 pages. And section, when you look at that, it's section 508. Because if you go down here to the bottom, it says additional standards for a free postal service. It says Group B customers are assigned the smallest available box that's reasonably able to accommodate their daily mail volume. So nowhere in there does it say you have to have the smallest box. So then I was thinking, well, I guess I can go in there because I know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna go in there at some point. I haven't decided exactly when yet. And I'm going to tell them I want my free box. And then he's gonna say, you already have a box. And I'm gonna say, I don't care, I want my free box. And he's gonna say, well, you can't have 2 boxes. And I'm gonna say, per the domestic mail manual, 4.5.3 subsection C, it says a customer must pay the applicable fee for each post office box requested in addition to the initial free Group B mailbox. So, he keeps saying things that I know it's not him. I told him in the email today, I know it's not you. I know you're getting your marching orders from somebody above you. But you won't tell anybody who that somebody is. And it's like this super secret thing. So I'm going to go in there. And actually, I requested a meeting between somebody from the town and him and us all together.
I asked for that last week.
So, the story from the Observer will come out sometime in the next week or so. Amy wants to make sure that she has everything very correct in there. And I will continue reaching out to the media because I just think they're bullying us.
Have you heard from Holyfield on Channel 6?
No, not yet, but I actually sent it also to Channel 2. So, because the story up in Pennsylvania is exactly the same as this story. It's almost identical. And so what they have found out, what I have found out by reading is that if you want to apply for a post office box, you can do it online. If you want to apply for a Group B post office box, you have to go to the post office. And I believe they do that so they can bully you into telling you all these reasons of why you're going to get less of a service. Why would I get less of a service? Your own manual says that's not true. So I don't know, but people still will want the Group B boxes and and also they're not giving, I think I said it already, but they're not giving that paperwork out to anybody. They say they're doing it in groups, but they're not. So we need to tell people of the town, you need to go to the post office and ask for your Group B box. And if they don't give it to you, or if they're telling you you're going to lose premium service, then you need to say, well, I want my free, even if you keep your other box, tell them I want my free box because they won't have enough boxes. And then Briley Farms, we found out today, we called, and Briley Farms, it has been assigned a 34760 zip code.
And
Yeah.
I asked that when I was in the post office, if the day they come, maybe original post.
Yes.
I wanted to ask questions of other people, so I went in there.
Let me
I
be
think
finished. They can,
okay, so we got to be orderly about it.
yes, let me just be finished unless y'all have questions and then other people.
Well, I have a couple of comments, questions for you, and I think maybe the commission does. Then
I'm sorry. I just want to make sure you have your full time up.
we try to keep.
Yeah. I know, and I try.
So that it would cut down on the questions that you have.
Yeah.
Okay,
Anyway,
are you done?
I mean, that's as much as I know right now. And then I will go in there. I was going to try to go today, but I couldn't, but Bert works every day until 3 o'clock. He works until 3 o'clock. So go in there before 3 o'clock and I'm going to go in there. And then if anybody wants me to go with them, I will do that too.
Okay, so I'm gonna go first. And then if you guys have questions, I want you to ask them at the table, then we'll open it up to brief public comment. First of all, thank you. Thank your sister Deanna. Deanna, thank everybody who's worked. We thank everybody who's worked on this, who's been tenacious. Nancy Ross has been very helpful to us also. The only thing that I will say is I went in there last week and I got my mail out of my PO box and I went in and asked to talk to a postmaster that I have never seen in my life before. And I said, you know, I don't understand. I don't have this letter in my box. Oh, we're not putting them in the boxes. I said, well, how are you doing this? And he said, only if they ask. So it's not that they're going to do groups at that time. And there was another woman who I did not recognize, not the long-haired lady, that they were just both incredibly condescending. I said, why can't you come over to town hall and introduce yourself or ask us to come over to see you? Why can't we sit down and talk about this? And he said, that's not the way it works. And so I said, oh, you know, I'm like, I don't understand this. And the woman who was there that I didn't recognize said, this conversation is over. And I even actually told them who I was, which I very rarely do. And I said, okay. So I went to Elise and went, so I just want you guys to know we are as frustrated as you are about this, as frustrated as I'm sure Nancy is and Donna is and Deanna is, and we're trying to help. The town's been working on this. Donna really has, you know, put some focus on it. So what I would ask you is if you have a comment, please try to keep it brief. If you have a question, and there's more to come. I don't think we're completely, this cake is not baked.
It is not. And
So,
you know,
we're working.
and do you remember Amy that worked over here, so that, I went in there, now, the day I went to Burt Ip and dropped my stuff off, she told me, she goes, I understand she was the nicest that I think she had ever been. I shouldn't say that, but she was super nice. She goes, I just want you to know, I knew this was coming up and I have been in the process of making a list of all of the 600 people plus that this affects. And I'm almost at the end of that list and I haven't seen her since.
I haven't either.
It was, literally 2 to 3 days after she told me that, and she hasn't been back.
Mhm.
Anyway.
So anyway, that's all the news that's fit to print at this meeting. Do we have anybody who wants to talk, speak on this subject? We ask, you have to come up and tell us who you are and sign in so that we have your name for the record. And please try to keep your comments brief. Tell us who you are.
My name's Meredith Ryan. I live on Briley, so this affects my address. I did go in and ask a few questions. The first question I have to the group here is they're citing a specific document or discussion.
None of us can come up with.
Okay, so I was just curious when that happened, and then secondly, if that was up for reconsideration at some point, especially if the new neighborhood that is doors from me would eventually get mail service. I realize that's not an immediate.
We don't, if that has been decided, we don't know about it, correct, Andy?
Correct, yeah.
We don't know about that.
Because I specifically asked the postmaster when I went in that question, just because I was curious, right? Unfortunately, the services that they're saying are no longer available to us if we go down to the small box are sometimes without our control, right? Like you put addresses and things,
We understand.
get them, sometimes you don't, and sometimes UPS sends last leg there. So I guess my question is if we can find that document that they're citing, if it exists, maybe we can reconsider.
We have, Elise is our clerk of the record.
Okay.
She has looked and looked and looked. I can make some empirical comments on that, but I have no proof.
Okay.
When I moved here 33 years ago, we were required to have a PO box. There was no delivery in the town of Oakland. When we began to grow about 25 years ago, when Winter's Landing and Trailside came into place, there was a discussion about what the post office would and would not do. It was their discussion, not ours. And they said they could not deliver mail out of that post office. So, and they would not have enough PO boxes. So that is when they began delivering mail from Winter Garden, which is why the zip code is different. Gotcha. So that tradition has continued. Briley Farm is still in process. And that is usually something that we work with that development on. So we haven't heard that yet, but we're definitely dig into that part of it. But I know that they don't have enough post office boxes for Briley Farm, which we knew was going to be one of the things that we were going to have to grapple with. And like I told Donna, when we started this conversation about a month ago, I said, no matter what gets decided, no matter what happens, there are going to be negative consequences to any kind of decisions that we make. So we're still working on that. And we don't have a partner that will tell us what our options are. But we can't find any paperwork anywhere. And I mean, this is all public record and we are dead serious about keeping our records.
No, absolutely. I'm not citing that anyone.
Oh, yeah.
No.
And here's the other thing, Meredith, as long as the mayor and I have been up here, which is going on 30 years between two of us, we can assure you that in our time, nothing like that has come through this commission.
We wouldn't even know who to ask.
No worries. And then I guess the second question, I've only lived at that address since 2017, so it doesn't impact me greatly. But people that have lived in this town for a very long time, what can we do to help them get either funds back or I'm not sure.
To come.
Okay, cool. Thank you guys.
On it.
Appreciate it.
I would suggest, because I already put it in my email, when I go up and talk to, Mr. Ick, that I'm going to ask him how you file a public records request for the post office and file a public records request. And I know they're not going to give me anything because I honestly don't think they really have anything, but I would suggest anybody, every single resident, go in that post office and tell them you want to know how to do a public records request for the document you say you have that the town wants mailed, no carrier. That's what I would suggest, but I'm gonna ask them that one. That would be what I would say.
And we did not, I am fairly certain, I mean, in the 30 years, we talked about what our options were, but we never dictated this. It was them telling us what they would do or could do. So, all right, do we have anybody else?
This young man here, well, Deanna, go ahead.
Yeah, let Deanna come.
Yeah.
So kind of it follows what she was just saying. So basically the post office just says that the town has this agreement, the town denies it and says we don't have the agreement. So first of all, I'm not an attorney, but it seems like this could possibly be solved by the town just writing a letter now saying that we wish for our residents to have carrier service, because I don't know who's your attorney over here.
Yes.
So does a contract or an agreement have to have a start date and an end date?
It would depend on what the contract
Right.
is.
It's not enough. Yeah, there's not enough information.
Okay, and then it can't just be an invisible agreement. Right?
No, and what I want you to understand, it doesn't mean that we didn't discuss this.
Right,
And it doesn't mean that we dictated it, or, does it mean we came to an agreement at that time?
right.
Maybe, but, things change, growth happens.
I'm saying you just can't have it open-ended from.
But we can't find a single piece of paper.
Right, and neither can the post office. So that's why I'm thinking, if that's the case, and it happened from this written agreement, maybe we just write another agreement stating that now we wish for our residents to have carriers.
So what we really want is to get into a room and get this
Yes,
out with
absolutely.
people who know what they're talking about.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Deanna.
All right, do we have anybody else?
Hi, my name is Gary Johnson. I'm a resident here of Oakland for 66 years. So referring to mail delivery, I can remember when I was these kids' size, my bicycle would come up here to the post office. And that little haunted house up there, my grandmother used to work there. They'd make about $20 a week. And that's how she provided and raised us like 5 boys. And I'm saying that we never was, and I'm saying she suffered to pay mailbox fees and what have you. So I went to the postmaster. I was a mailman myself over 30 years. So I'm familiar with the post office. Yeah. Retired. So long story short, actually, me and Mother Matt was talking about doing something with this, and I ended up about a year ago and I got COVID. So it kind of took me out of it, and it was something that we was gonna initially get into. But now I'm glad somebody picked up the mantle. I want to get with Donna,
Yes.
if I can, Donna and Deanna, I think it was, but long story short, I went up to Winter Garden Post Office, the other post office there on 50. And I had postmaster because, like I said, I'm familiar with delivering the mail. So I asked him about, I gave him, I live right off of Oakland Avenue. So I requested, because I know the mail, they do have mail service on Oakland Avenue. But he gave me a letter saying that he don't have the authority to deliver mail in Oakland, which I know that's not true. I'll put it that way. Well, I don't know about this part of Oakland, but I know they got mail deliveries on Oakland Avenue, and they got all these new subdivisions.
And it's been built within the last 25 years. They are getting mail delivery out of Winter Garden.
And they get mail delivery on Oakland Avenue, the same Oakland that I live on, Oakland Avenue, up to 419. And my address is on the opposite side of Oakland Avenue. So long story short, that's no good, so, and then I went up here to this Oakland post office. And I had somebody to sign, I requested mail delivery, and first of all, Winter Garden said that they must have, well, they just said that they weren't authorized. Ken, the postmaster, Ken Cummins.
No.
Yeah, that's Ken. He signed, I got signed documents here from him. And then I went there to Oakland, and that was Mike at the time, but I think he's retired. Long story short, he kicked it back here, saying that you all,
I know.
not you, but per se, but saying the town of Oakland denied as far as receiving mail at home. So long story short, I was tempted to get an attorney or something to see about, for a class action lawsuit. But I got a lot of other people that I spoke to already in the resident of Oakland. Like I said, I'm 66 years old, and we never received a piece of mail at our house.
Right.
So, so my thing is, I said, I'm coming up here, Auntie, I call her, that's Auntie, but I call her Mother Mac. She told me that this meeting was going on, so long story short, I want to get with Donna and Deanna.
I think that the best thing that we can do right now is talk among ourselves. Donna is, making some headway. The town is monitoring this and helping at whatever stage we can. All of us, as far as in the town goes, I know, if it is a burden for you to pay the, exorbitant fees that they're charging for PO boxes, that's what we're trying to solve for.
Well, usually Ken told me himself that he was from New York. In this situation like this, he said generally what happened is that the post office, if you get a PO box like what I'm talking about, we get it free.
Right.
We don't have to pay.
Right.
Postal fee if they're not delivering it, if they don't, because the post office should be able to give you a free delivery at your residence.
Well, we'll see what happens. We're working on
I'm
it.
just saying, I got over 30 some years, and that's
Gotcha.
the way that's so.
History here.
You get free delivery at home.
We're working on it.
All righty.
Definitely. And please be part of the solution. You got a good group over here, and we'll keep working on it. And Nancy over there, and she, what do you have, 42 years?
Yeah.
With the post office. So we've got some people with some history here that are very helpful to us.
Marcia,
I just want to know
pop up.
Marcia, come on up.
This information. How will it be disseminated? Through,
When the finance right, they first level. What they feel is
Good information. You'll get it from us, you'll get it from the post office, you can get it from Facebook, you can get it from the town of Oakland website, but you'll get it.
But we're not there yet.
We're not there.
We won't hold back.
So go into the post office, get your group. Do that now.
Yeah, but what kind of delivery service you're gonna get on packages is in question at this.
They just.
Yeah,
I was surprised to find had people that didn't have it.
I didn't know that either.
I had no idea that.
So anyway, this is what happens when citizens band together for the greater good. And I appreciate it. And Boy Scouts take note.
And we do, we all appreciate so much. You just don't even know what you're doing, helping us out here. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Anybody else at the table? Anything? Okay. This is gonna be an ongoing subject and hopefully we'll put it to bed soon. Thank you, guys. All right, consent agenda. This is part of the agenda where we approve a bundle of things that have already been we've already been made aware. And we approve them all at once. So I need a motion or I need any comments if you have questions at the table.
Make the motion to accept consent agenda. Oh, second.
Okay, it's moved and seconded. Do we have any questions or comments? Okay, all in favor? Aye. We have a resolution talking about election qualifying dates. So yes, there really is an election.
You want me to talk?
Yeah, please.
Okay, so in March, we're going to have 3 seats up. We'll have the mayor, seat 2, and seat 3, which is Vice Mayor Satterfield and Commissioner Ramos' seat up for election. There will be a 3-week candidate qualifying period. So that's what this resolution is about. It's setting a qualifying period. The way that our charter works is there's qualifying by petition, that's a 10-day period. So that one would start November 16th at 8 a.m. and end on December 1st. That falls like right outside of, you don't count Thanksgiving the day after, it's closed, so it's 10 days outside. People that qualify by petition have to obtain 100 registered voters in the town of Oakland, and then they have to pay 10 cents per petition to get the supervisor of elections to review those. So that's the component for that. Once that is done, the fee qualification period starts. So that'll be December 4th at 8 till December 7th at 3. And that is $100 plus a $5.99 state assessment fee. So $105.99 for them to come in and qualify. And I will be trying to do more education this year because of the Form 1 and the Form 6 differential. So they can qualify with a Form 1 financial statement. They will end up having 6 in 2024. So I want to educate them up front on that.
Which is much more detailed.
Yes. So that's really what the resolution is about.
And yeah, of course. And then if we have any comments, questions. So one, and the other thing I think we need to make note of is once you qualify, need to make sure I'm right. Once you qualify, if you meet all the qualifications, you must, and part of that is you must have a campaign account separate from anything else that you have. And trust me, that's the hardest part of this whole thing. It is. It's very, very hard. Petitions, 100 petitions is a lot of work. It just depends on what you would like to do. Anything that you need regarding elections and qualifications belongs to Elise, and you can come see her at Town Hall. Okay. So this is what makes local government work. You know, there are elections, and this is the closest thing you get to the people who live in your community. Anybody else?
I was gonna add to the petitions, you still need to have a campaign account.
Yes, that's what I said. I just wasn't clear.
Addition to.
Yes.
Nobody gets out of it alive.
Nobody gets out of the campaign account, which is the worst part of it all. And you have to do financial reporting on the campaign account. And now that the state of Florida has passed the Form 6.
It's Form 6, yeah.
Form 6, they're gonna want every little detail of your financial situation, every account, how much is in it. It's, you know, the other one was like, I have investments, I have debt, you don't have to say how much, and you were pretty much done. So this is gonna be quite interesting. I mean, there are people who are, there are commissioners and elected officials that are leaving government because they do not want to do this.
Not necessarily here.
Not here, but in Windermere, we have people leaving. So, but that is what the state of Florida requires, and that's what we have to do. All right, I want to acknowledge that we have, is this all Troop 145? Oh, cool. Well, good. It's good to know. And this is for,
Gonna vote on it.
oh, dang, I'm sorry. Do I have a motion about the resolution?
I'll make a motion for resolution 2023-09.
Okay, moved and seconded. Any questions, any comments? Okay, all in favor? Oh, sorry about that. So anyway, I would like to welcome everybody. The citizenship, you are working on your citizenship and the nation badge, is that correct? All right. And we're really, really proud to have you all here. That's my ringtone.
You have a song for us.
Yeah. Now, while I don't, you know, I am very opposed to running long on a meeting, but I know that we're all the commissioners here are happy to talk to you afterwards if you have any questions. And I know a couple of you need to talk about something for a certain badge, so we'll get to that too after the meeting. But does anybody have something to say that, you know, is for the greater good of the group?
Which troop is this?
145 and what's the other group? I thought it was. Oh, it's all 145?
They're just not all here.
No, I'm sorry. I thought there was another troop here, but this is part of troop 145. And we had a beautiful, beautiful eagle. What do you call that, Nancy? Okay, court of honor. Yes. We had a beautiful court of honor here on Sunday, and I know I saw a lot of you here. And it was just wonderful. It was really, really nice. And I admire any of you guys for being Boy Scouts and Cub Scouts, but I also admire the ones who move on to an Eagle Scout. That's, you know, all of you work very hard. Anybody else have anything to say?
No, we just couldn't be prouder of you.
Yeah.
That boils it all down. You guys are super. You'll all be sitting here one.
Yeah, I hope so. So, anyway, like I said, after the meeting, we'll be happy to address any questions you have. Okay. All right, so we are to manager report.
Thank you. Good evening, Madam Mayor, members of the town commission. I'll start with a promotion that we had this last week. Our town clerk Elise has been promoted to the role of assistant town manager / town clerk, so she'll retain her duties as town clerk. But Elise is a very valuable asset to the town. I've been here 4 months and I came. When I came to the town, it's been a lot of information and I knew right away I could go to Elise and she's a hard worker. She's dedicated to the town. She puts together all our agendas, all our resolutions. She keeps on top of a lot of things with the town commission, and she allows me to do some of the higher level things in town administration. So, Elise, congratulations on that. And then,
That's a 12-year contract, so you can't go in for like 12 years?
Yeah. 3 months severance, same as mine. No, it's just. And then, something else, our Mayor Kathy Stark, she hosted the State of the Town on Monday, October 16th, at the Arts and Heritage Center. That was well attended by both residents, and community partners. So a big thanks to the Community Outreach Director, Jessica Lovejoy, and the Arts and Heritage Center staff for their work on the event. And Madam Mary did an excellent job. And thank you once again to the staff at the Arts and Heritage Center. And just something else that as I came into town, I noticed that 2 police officers were escorting a telephone pole down Sadler Avenue at 6:30 in the evening. And sometimes you look at that and you think that, these men and women that work, all hours of the day. At 6:30, a lot of people are at home eating dinner. We're coming to a meeting and having to leave. Some of them will work through the night. So it just kind of reminded me of the importance of town and the staff, and that's what really makes your community. So that's all I have this evening for my report. Also, I know on the consent agenda, we approved the town attorney's agreement. And so I know they've been with the town for years, since almost the beginning, I believe. And so we appreciate them being here as well. So with the town. So that's all I have this evening.
The only thing that astounded me out of everything that Andy said was, we know how good you are. It's a given. We know how good everyone else is, but the fact he's already been here 4 months.
That's what I said.
That's why it's so fast. Yes. Thank you for sticking around.
All right, Sal,
Yeah, I want to just congratulate the police officers and for the pickleball event tournament this Saturday. I was supposed to be playing there, but I was sick, but I didn't go along with it. Well attended, versus the citizens. A big turnout, and I was really proud to see that. And a reminder about sheep. How long you been here already?
358 days.
yeah.
That went by fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Chief. And thank you guys. So, true, man.
Rick?
Pumpkin Glow at ONP this Friday and Saturday from 6 to 9.
Are you selling tickets or can anybody? Recently, but.
And Saturday.
I have nothing, but I know we're at Promise. Yeah.
You have a lunch coming. And
That's November, yeah.
And that one, they're gonna talk about the whole form fixing.
Yeah.
six to the hot.
Yeah. We'll see it again.
And remember, we're getting towards the end of the year, we have 4 hours of ethics training to get done each.
I wouldn't mind.
I think those two are.
All right, it's not December 31st.
Yeah.
All right. You done, good?
Yes, sir.
I'll go, we know here at the table, but for the audience that the school is 20 years old now, which is very hard to believe. We're in our 20th anniversary. You'll see it on all of our logos as we go through the year. Elise has a video I would like us all to see. Our teachers at the school put a 20th anniversary song together. Our music teacher is the one that started it. He's just a real trip.
That's the same one.
Yes.
Oh, he's hilarious.
He's a trip.
Yeah.
And here it is.
Years of being, it's more. It's better than me.
There we go.
Like I'm watching Sesame Street.
That's great, isn't it?
Oh, listen.
What's that?
Oh, listen.
Yeah. So, and did you get a copy of the logo of the new Eagle? Okay, so, and Empire is going to help us with the parade on putting a float together again this year.
Wow.
Don't have to be one to go into Macy's like you did a few years back. But we appreciate everything that you guys do for
Yeah.
for the school, so thank you so much. That's all I.
Okay, I don't have much. I really enjoyed the state as well. And I really appreciate work so hard. on that. And going forward, just as a reminder, Elise has published this and has reminded us, but we have one meeting in November and one meeting in December. So due to the holidays. And you know, I just, everything has been great. And I really appreciate, you know, people who get involved, citizens who get involved in the Boy Scouts here. So it's just it's a good time.
Thank you.
You have one. Okay, so
Parker's not here, you're going in.
Each year, this was something I was gonna have Chief Easton come up for, but each year the commission approves a budget and purchases things that makes the town a better place to live, work and play. And so Chief Easton just brought a couple things that the police department, that the commission approved for the police department to purchase, and he just wanted to kind of highlight those for you and it'd be something for our scouts, good for our scouts to see too, so.
So it's more of a, you as the commission and the mayor, and the citizens who live here, should know what's going on in the police department. And one of the goals that I stated in my interview when I sat in this very room was, if I was given this position, one of the things I want to do is provide the best training and get the officers the best equipment they can. So this is more of a thank you for you guys. Support that you guys have given this police department, we couldn't have done this. When I got hired here, this was the computer that the police officers used. And it's very, very, very difficult to operate under, inside of a patrol car at night and type a report on and things like this. It's really no bigger than an iPad screen. Very, very hard for the officers to complete good reports. So, with a lot of research and a lot of bargaining, we were able to purchase these Panasonic Toughbooks, which are the top selling, computer for law enforcement on the market. And we were able to, I was able to find a company that undercut the original bid by $21,000. So it was a huge savings for us. And now these officers have the equipment they need to do good police reports, good research, gain good intelligence, and do everything they need to do to keep everybody here in Oakland safe.
I noticed the back of it says tough book, and I know you can read it, right?
Yes,
Is that how impact?
they are very,
what
very
level?
rigid. They're rated in specific for law enforcement. You could drop it from 3 feet high and it will still work. I'm not gonna do that.
And thank you.
Always been looking at that.
But yeah, the Tough Book is a model that they make for first responders. And it's made to resist the bumps in the car, you know, when it's mounted in the car and whatnot. So that's our next step. Now that we've, another thing we've done is got some different cars. You guys have seen them coming around the town. We are having a company come out and has to install the mounts to get all these in the car. We just took delivery of the first 3. The other 19 are at our IT place getting imaged right now. And we're gonna have them rolled out hopefully within the next 14 days or so to all the officers, so they can go from this to this, which is, there was just so many problems with this. Didn't communicate with the software at the jail. So when officers would go to the jail to process paperwork, they would have to actually email a copy to their own email, bless you, and then receive it from a jail computer and things like that. It was just, we were paying officers a lot of time to do things that could have expedited here. So, you know, it's been great to see. The other thing that this was the first thing I thought when I walked in the door, 358 days ago, was the firearms that the officers were carrying. To me was extremely, we were walking the line of liability. We had some problems with qualifications. It was a larger caliber and it wasn't up where technology is today. So I did some research, got with the same company. We were able to do some really gun buyback program where the officers were able to buy the weapons that they were carrying. So they can keep that in a shadow box, to do whatever they want with it. And it reduces the total price of these for
by $2,000. I spoke with the main competitor, the company that furnished our firearms when I was in that other agency to the east. And they were $23,000 to outfit the whole agency. I got it done here for 12,000. So, and the technology that comes with these is just can't be surpassed. These weapons are empty. There's absolutely no way to put any. What we've done is we added what's called a red dot optic on the firearm. And it's a smaller caliber. It's a 9mm instead of a 40 caliber. So the officers don't experience the recoil like they would with a 40 caliber. But now, instead of having to line up, for anybody that doesn't understand firearms, you have to line up the front sight with the rear sight, put it exactly in the middle, and then pull the trigger exactly at that right moment. You don't have to do that with these. When you look through this screen, I'm gonna pass around so everybody can look at it. There's a little red dot in there. You just put the dot on the target and press the trigger. That's it. I hope that in my career here, we never have to pull this trigger. I don't want that. But in the event that an officer needs to save somebody else's life with their own, you guys have provided them with the top technology out there. These are what all the metropolitan large agencies are carrying. This is what they've gone to. They just didn't do it as cheap as we did. So, the cost effectiveness of what we've done here, for the savings and liability down the road, it can be beat. This is, and I have you guys to thank with your support. The computers, the cars, and the firearms, those are my first 3 big steps. And we got it all done in less than a year. And I could not have done it without you guys. So I truly appreciate it. The officers appreciate it. We're rolling this out. Everybody goes through a 16-hour transition course before they're allowed to carry it. And then my goal is every 2 months, every 60 days, they will go through and do another 2 hours. So we're going to be training several hours a year, whereas before they got 8 hours of training a year, and that was it. I'm looking at a minimum of 40. And not just for firearms, for everything. We will have the best police officers in Central Florida. So when they're done, or should they leave here, we're turning out a great product to other agencies. But with our hiring that you guys have seen, we have a different breed of officers coming here. So, yeah, if you guys want to look at it, great. I have it here in the box. It can't hurt you. Promise. Like this right here, this is a game changer for the police officers. And they really appreciate it. So on behalf of them, for the cards, and the uniforms, we have new uniforms. We haven't got them rolled out yet, but you can see them. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time and your support for this agency.
Thank you, Steve.
No, I carry mine unloaded because it's too heavy.
I could just see everybody at this table going.
Good answer, Pete. I was like, yeah, I probably can't do that.
Good negotiating.
Yeah, I learned from the best. Yeah.
I was wondering. Shot again. I had that.
All right, so.
You done? Okay. Well, if all hearts and minds are satisfied, let's adjourn. It is 8:07 P.M.
Thank you, everybody.
And if you want to add